Jeff Grubb.
Tom Caswell, what are you doing here, buddy? You gonna help us out with this?
Oh, we are just exploring the planet of Kobo in Star Wars Jedi Survivor. We've got some post-game Cal here, so he's going to have all of his abilities, he's going to have all of his lightsaber stances. We're just going to check out some of the stuff there is to do in Kobo.
We're gonna be careful of story spoilers, but I think if you are sensitive to seeing a lot of the stuff that Cal's gonna be able to unlock, we're gonna show a lot of that stuff off. I'm excited though, because that's the kind of stuff I want to see. You've played through all this game, right? Obviously, you're in post-game stuff.
The whole kit and caboodle, yes. Played through the entire game. Took quite a bit. I did a lot of sightseeing during my time, but yeah, it's a fantastic game. I can't wait for people to start beating it so we can talk about where this story goes.
That's what I want to hear. I ended up caring a lot more about Fallen Order than I thought I would. It was like super surprising. It's like this, yeah, the story could be good, but it's Cal Kestis' character. There's no way I'm going to care about him. By the end, I super cared about him. And now I'm like, okay, we're getting more of that. I'm really hoping that they can carry forward that legacy. It sounds like they've mostly delivered on that front.
Totally. If you were excited about like Cal and his story by the end of Fallen Order, because Fallen Order wraps up kind of neatly.
Yes, it does.
This, I feel, is very much an Empire Strikes Back game where afterwards, instead of being like, cool, that was a good time, like A New Hope was, and I can wait for the next one, you know, at the end of Empire Strikes Back, you're kind of waiting to, I need to see where this story goes, and after this one, I feel very much the same about whatever the next thing they have planned is, because Cal kind of like skyrocketed to like a top 3 Jedi for me, top 3 character.
Hell yes.
With this game. So, yeah, so we have the blaster stance here. This is one of the new stances. It equips Cal with a blaster in addition to his lightsaber. Both the blaster and crossguard stance, the other stance I have currently equipped is the double-sided. You can only equip 2 stances at a time.
Right, I did see that. How many stances are there total?
So there's 5. There's single... some droid Dakars.
Yeah, look at these boys.
Yeah.
These are my favorite prequel droids.
Oh, yeah. Easy. These guys are a classic. And, so you'll see that little pop-up there on the down D-pad came up. In the game, you'll find points where you can have BD kind of sync with, and it unlocks the ability to control enemy droids.
Oh, man, okay.
So, BD right now is taking over this droid Dakar, and he's going to go fight him. So there was one instance where, like, 2 big beast monsters, I was fighting with them, and you have the ability to use Jedi mind control.
Yes.
And I literally just had them fight each other. So there's a lot of instances where you can actually avoid doing anything and just watching these two enemies go at it.
Yeah, so it seems like they've done a lot of work on making sure that the combat is more dynamic and capable of reproducing those kinds of instances than ever, where it's like, oh yeah, these things are going to have their own logic, so that if you do take them over, they will behave in the way that they should if you turn them against their friend. And that's really, because I did that early on. That's like an early thing you can unlock, and then but I'm like, oh, that'll be sort of the limit to it. So to see that they kind of take that to its natural conclusion here, that's exciting. To me, it speaks to they've spent a lot of time thinking about what this game needs to feel like a full-blown sequel to the last game.
It's really awesome. This planet we're on, Kobo, is I was mentioning to you before we started recording. You know, these games are very Dark Souls inspired, and this game feels like it has elements of Elden Ring, because when you enter Kobo, once you get past the opening area, it kind of feels like you're stepping into the lands between with this massive open world. It's way bigger than anything in Fallen Order or even in the rest of Survivor with the other planets. So one of the things I'm going to do here, I have the blaster. I'm going to do this charge shot that I can do with the blaster, and it gives this like electric shot there. It doesn't seem to be breaking through its shield, but
that seems to work. It seems to weaken it at least there.
Yeah, we got through it there. So the blaster is really great, and that is one of the 5 stances. You have that, and crossguard is the other one you unlock. That one I definitely used kind of like as much, if not just as much as the blaster. The blaster has remained kind of locked to my my hip since unlocking it. And yeah, and then the other ones you have are single-sided, double-sided, and dual wielding, all of which are pretty much available from the get-go. I'm realizing I'm going to get up here.
I'm the first. I just finished Coruscant, which is the first stage, or I guess I finished the first. Maybe go back to Coruscant. I have no idea, but I finished the first level, and I think I have 3 of the 5 right now, and it does seem like I'm going to get the other ones here pretty quickly. This world you're on it's Kobo, and this is the second level, and it's kind of open, right?
Yeah, it's really open. It is this game does something interesting in the fact that it, instead of having you going to a new planet for every mission, essentially, like you did in Fallen Order, you'd return for some missions.
Right.
In this game, you are constantly returning to Kobo. It is intrinsically tied to the plot of the game, and it has special things about it that cause you to have to return to it constantly.
We're going to not show ability, everybody, that we just did, but I want everyone to see that we're not trying to cut around any bugs. This is a bug that just happened. That guy got killed, basically, and he's just kind of standing there like an idiot.
Yes.
Is his arm chopped off? Is that what's happened?
I think, yes. The dismember. So there is dismembering this game, which we'll be excited about.
Yes,
but this guy.
I legitimately am excited that lightsabers can chop people
that
in
is
half.
so
they
funny.
They could always do droids. Now they can do it to like living bodies as well. So it's a weird thing, but I kind of do care about that. Lightsabers should be that powerful.
People are very much care about that. It seems that characters only get the one. They get one limb. Kind of like in a PG-13 movie, you get one F word.
You get one F. Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, here's a little glitch, and this is after the day 1 patch. So this is the builds that people are going to be playing. And so there's still a lot of quirks and issues with the game.
Yeah, let's kind of speak to that. So what has been your experience in terms of encountering bugs, encountering performance problems? Just give me the whole spiel on that right now.
Yeah, I'll tell you this. Before, I played most of the game without the day 1 patch, so who knows whether that would have fixed all of the issues that I had.
Right.
But I have not played a game this buggy since Fallen Order. Had several really bad crashes. I had force puzzles where the prompt to do a force ability on an object that I needed it to wasn't loading, and I was like, how do I do this puzzle? Like, what's going on? And then I looked at something, I was like, that looks like I should be able to use the force on it. And I restarted my game, and lo and behold, there was now like a glowing blue light around the object.
Okay.
So there were things like that. I never had anything game breaking other than the crashes, but yeah, it's been buggy. I hear the PC build is a nightmare.
Yes, sounds real rough on PC. I guess Dan got the PC code, and he's been loading it up several times, and every single time, no audio loads whatsoever. And so he's tried a bunch of stuff, and he's tried over and over. Nothing's fixed it, so he has said now in our Slack he's putting the game aside until they fix it. So on PC, he's just not even going to play. I got PS5 code. I almost asked for PC so I could like maybe try to get it working on the Steam Deck, and then God laughed at me, and I was like, okay, good point. I won't even try.
Well, we'll see. I'm really curious as to like if Steam Deck is a thing that this game will ever be able to run.
Yeah, once it's out, I'll just get it on. I'll get it on Steam, and then I'll just I'll test it for myself. I bet it's gonna be bad. I bet it's gonna be real bad on Steam Deck.
Yeah, hopefully they can get it tweaked. Maybe on the Asus ROG Ally, it'll run.
Once the Republic of Gamers takes over, then we'll be all set
with the external eGPU.
Of course, yes. Oh man, over USB-C, of course, yes. Yeah. So okay. So this is kind of like a hub world, not really, but it's like a hub in terms of the story, and it's more open than the rest of the stages, which the other stages are more like the traditional Fallen Order levels. Is that right?
Yeah, I would say that the other planets are bigger than what we saw in Fallen Order, but they're more like that, where it is kind of linear open areas with some side stuff to explore. This is like a fully fully open world. I would legitimately call this an open world. There is so much to see and do, and the cool thing is in Star Wars, so often it's, oh, this is the ice planet. This is the volcanic planet. Kobo is cool because it does have different biomes. One of the first areas you'll go to in the story with the game is a forest area on the planet, and then there's like a swampy area. There is like a little bit of a volcanic area as well. So you're continuously returning to the planet, but it's not all the same, like deserty kind of like mountain range thing. This is a side area. All of the side missions are like organically found in the world.
Sure.
But there's a cantina in the game run by Greasy Money from the first game. Our boy. There are patrons there. More people kind of come to the planet and the cantina as you play, and they will give you rumors to kind of tell you like, hey, go check out this area. So you don't necessarily, there's not side quests in the sense of like you have to speak to someone to unlock a quest. You can kind of like do all of this stuff by just finding it, but the cantina will have characters that you can speak to that will kind of point you in the right direction of what you will find in these spaces.
So, Raiders. I mean, listen. This sounds like a massive game. When you're playing it, do you look around and be like, "Oh, I get why this game is 150 gigabytes or whatever
Absolutely.
it is."
Yes,
you do. Okay, that's impressive. If it shows up on the screen, I'm like sort of okay with games getting bigger.
Yeah, I feel that. As much as this game is just as buggy as Fallen Order, I feel like it's also way more impressive because of its scale than Fallen Order. So it actually feels way more justified in its issues a little bit. The speed with which characters are moving, the fact you can fast travel, shortcut unlocks and stuff. I'm honestly kind of stunned that the game runs as well as it does, despite it sometimes also not running well.
All right, let's reconcile like how these various things. So this game is buggy. This game it has performance issues. It seems like there's a lot of issues on that side of things, and yet the way you talk about it and what I'm seeing, it seems like you really like it. It seems like you love it. Is that true?
Loved it.
Like both those things can be true?
Yep, 100%. I loved this game. I loved it the more I played it. I think it starts off strong and it ends even like far stronger, not just in terms of gameplay because you have all these amazing abilities, but the story the story in this, you saw the Batman, right, Jeff?
Yes, I did.
In the opening of the Batman, you have the Batman explain how he uses the shadows and instills fear in his enemies by making anyone think that he could be in any of the shadows. And when I was watching that, I was like, wow, I've never seen a Batman thing explain this facet of Batman, how he uses fear as a tool, as well as that movie showed that. I feel that way about Survivor in some of the key storytelling elements of Star Wars. This game does those better than like any other Star Wars thing I've ever seen.
That is big talk. Okay, I wasn't expecting that.
It'll take you in surprising ways. It's also a much more emotional story. And the cool thing is that I think about the story is that at the end of in the first game, it was all about this holocron that had the names of like Force-sensitive kids, and it was like, oh, we could restart the Jedi Order. But as Star Wars fans, we know that can't happen. Yes. There was already like a limit on the possibility.
Not sure what that means.
The story of this game, very smartly, I mean, it is canon, but it creates a scenario that kind of removes it from the canon a little bit, or at least gives it an opportunity for you to not really know where the story is going to go.
Okay, so it's got a little bit more room to breathe on its own without being beholden to, we know that can't be true.
Exactly. And that only kind of expands as the game goes on, and then once the whole story is finished, you start thinking about the ramifications of what it means for the wider kind of universe, and how the movies and the shows, they could smartly start introducing elements from this that would tie it in. So it just has so much more possibility than Fallen Order, which had a really good story, but it was just limited in where it could go. This is also another new feature to kind of get around a bit easier and quicker, as you can kind of force bond with animals to allow you to do things like this by kind of returning to where we started.
It seems like there's a lot more ways to like get around. You get the hook shot pretty early, right? That's new to this game, right? Because I don't think we had anything quite similar to that in the first game. If we did, I'm forgetting. And that's something you can use in that first level quite a lot. And but it does seem like they have a pretty good mix of force abilities and just like Star Wars shit. Like, here's some cool Star Wars shit.
Yeah, the force abilities are really fun. There's Jedi mind tricking, as I mentioned earlier. You do also, at points in the story, have moments where you can kind of team up with companions to have them kind of like, you can have them like attack certain enemies and things like that. So there is a lot more available to you. And you start off the game with all of the abilities from the end of Jedi Fallen Order. So like wall running, double jumping, like all of that is already in the game. These are like seeds. Like you can find plants, and if you like whack them, you get their seed. I guess I already have that seed. Gardening returns in a big way. If you remember Fallen Order, you had like a little herb garden on the Mantis. Yeah. Now the roof of the cantina is your garden essentially. And, actually, I want this Neko, which is another one of the animals you can control.
Good.
So reminds me of the hamster thing from Kirby's Adventure 2 or whatever. Kirby's Dream Land 2. So you mentioned Grease, the Cantina, the Mantis. A lot of the stuff from the first game. In what I've played, I haven't seen many of the people that were the core crew from the last game. Now, the game does start off with basically a last time on and tells the story of the first game. They don't try to be like, minimize those characters. So I get the feeling they're going to show up here eventually in my story. How well is that handled, especially as someone like me who really ended up falling in love with that crew? Am I going to be satisfied with this game?
Yes. Like, I don't even know how to describe to you how well the fact that they're not there in the beginning, how they come back, how they're implemented, where each of their stories goes. It's I liked the crew in the first game, but I don't think I loved it. I didn't think that it was like, the kind of structure of this crew is something that is important to me. By the end of this game, I was so invested in them as a unit. And yeah, they come into the story in a really, 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 really big way. It isn't just like, we see Grease for a bit and then he leaves for a moment or whatever.
He's not, I mean, like, again, we don't have to spoil this, but he's not just in the cantina and that's it.
No.
Okay.
No. Yep. Nope.
Okay.
Cool. They are as involved as they were in Fallen Order, if not more so, I'd say.
And then how about new characters? Do they sort of stand up?
I wish we could talk spoilers about this game right now, because the new characters are also really strong. The new villains I really like, but specifically Bode Akuna, the new kind of like Han Solo rogue partner that we've seen in trailers. He might be my favorite character in the whole game.
Is that the brother that shows up there at the beginning of the game?
Yeah, and he gives you he like helps you up, and he's jumping
really
around.
Like
He's got a jetpack. If you like him, if you like him already, just wait till the end of the game. Please hit me up when you start to get to some end game stuff.
Oh, that's exciting.
He is a fantastic addition.
Who's this little freak?
This is Scuva.
God, this is incredible. I love when Star Wars just like, we got weird little guys.
He's a little hard to understand because he's got a thick Scottish accent and it's coming through like this like mask
system. Yeah.
But there are fish in the game that he will find, and they get added to the fish tank in the cantina.
Oh man, okay, cool.
So, in fact, actually, you know what? Where is my nearest thing? Because I think I will maybe show off what the cantina once it's... Because when you get to it in Kobo, it's like Grease and like he has one customer, and then toward the end of the game, it really fills out, and like there's a lot of stuff added to it. So yeah, so this is the meditation point. I'm just gonna go there, and then once I get there, it will allow me to fast travel to the cantina. Yeah, so here we go, meditation point.
That's sliding. I never had issues with it in the first game, at least not much. I know a lot of people are like, hey, the sliding and the platform is also sliding. Does that feel any different, a little bit better by any chance?
Yes, it does. And I think the annoying thing people found is there were instances where it was worked into the story to... you had to escape or something, and you screwed up the sliding, and you died and had to restart. Fortunately, there aren't, I don't think, any points like that in the game. Like, all of the sliding is just for, like, traversal. And I think, funnily enough, this is a game design thing. I think what caused the issue with the sliding is it had, like, ramps on either side. Like, you kind of, like, curve off. There's none of that. They kind of just made them like more like kind of flat ramps in this one.
Okay. This is actually the thing that's occurred to me the most as I've consumed sort of reviews of this game and listened to people's thoughts and started it myself. I think Respawn might be one of its own best critics, where they looked at that first game and they knew exactly where its shortcomings were, and they addressed all of them. That's other than the performance and the bugs, but in terms of like design and choices about what kind of game they were making, it feels like they addressed most of those issues from the first game. Was that accurate?
Yes, I think every element that, aside from the bugs, I think every element that you wanted to expand and improve upon in this game is here. And in fact, I'll show you right now. So one of the big things about the first game was ponchos. They were the only thing you could change. In this game, we have a pretty substantial customization suite.
We're going to have to talk about that facial hair in a second, but keep going, yes.
We got multiple. We got the light mustache and patch. We also can give him stubble or keep him clean. We have just the mustache. We have the full goatee and mustache choice.
I think your choice of like the devil's goatee and mustache is
El Diablo.
Yes, El Diablo. Yeah, it's great.
I was rocking the full beard for a lot of the game as well, and then hairstyles. This is a great one, the windswept. I rocked that a lot, but. Hang on, let me go into mustache. This one got people really riled up when I used it in the review. This feels like very Cobra Kai.
Yes,
Cal Kestis. So I was rocking this for a bit, and
this is a dirtbag, and I love it. This is someone that plays guitar really poorly in a garage band.
This is his default hairstyle. But then in the clothing department, you have different jackets. You also can change the color and kind of like design of the jackets.
Wow, this looks great.
Which is cool because you can go to, if you have like the deluxe edition of the game, you have Luke's jacket from the end of episode 4, but you also have different color style. So I actually rocked this kind of like electric blue version of it a lot when I was playing.
That's slick.
This is Han Solo's scoundrel vest. We have the Hermit. This is Obi-Wan's. This is a pre-order bonus for people that pre-order the game. So that has color variants. Shirts underneath as well. So like I could take this is Han Solo's shirt underneath Luke Skywalker's jacket, and then pants as well can be.
It's the game. They know what a lot of Star fans are going to want. They're going to be like, I just want to be thinking about Han Solo while I'm playing a Star Wars game, and this is a good way to do that, I think.
And then here we have the workbench with customization options. So if we jump into the lightsaber, there are numerous options like there were in the first game, but it's greatly expanded. So you have the hilt of Luke's lightsaber. Again, this is a deluxe edition upgrade. You have the Hermit, which is Obi-Wan's pre-order upgrade.
These are all cosmetic, right?
Yes, all cosmetic in the same way that they were in the first game. If you have the crossguard stance equipped, like I have done, you also have the little vents on the side that you can swap out.
And what was that customized vents button?
Oh, dude, I didn't even know you could. I did not even know that you could do this.
That is cool. Okay, see, this is like, there's so much. They've put so much detail into this game.
They might have added that. I don't remember ever seeing that before. That might be a post-patch addition.
That's cool.
I'll have to go back and check out my gameplay. But
it's like Touchdown Jesus. There we go.
So you can change all of the elements here. But what's cool is and then you've got the blade. So you start out with all of the blades from the first game. But I think they added white as well. Apparently that's a new one. I thought it was in the first game, but it's not. But then you get into the materials, and the materials are wild. You have everything from you have some leather options. Where are we gonna go? Hard leather, yeah. So you can like have leather options for all of the lightsabers, and you can actually zoom in.
Wow! Oh
yeah,
man, that looks like something I made in Boy Scouts when I was trying to make a lightsaber. It's very cool.
And like the grip color, you can change like the fabric color. One of my favorite, and these are all unlockable. You start with a couple, and then you can find others in the world. There's this non-metal options that as you can see, like has this ceramic look to it. There's the joined black and silver.
Great.
Yeah, and then you can also change the polish level. So that might be kind of hard to see, but you can make them
I'm seeing it here. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, it's sort of like how much that light is scattering on there. That's very cool.
So if you pick like a leather option and you wanted to make it like really like worn leather essentially.
Right.
You can kind of remove the.
Oh, that's nice. That's a good effect.
And it makes it, takes away a little bit of the sheen there.
Got a good feeling about this material.
And so the grip color. Oh, actually, I think that's for the bottom half of the lightsaber. But yeah, you can change the fabric color here, and then there's kind of color palettes, and then within each you have 5 options. And then you can also change the condition. So I've kept mine pristine, but you can go.
Oh, cool!
You can change like how worn it is. So you if you wanted to make like a really ancient lightsaber or something like that. Yeah.
Do you find yourself going back here and sort of changing things, like maybe as you change outfits to make sure your lightsaber still matches your clothes? Or how much do you care about fashion in this game?
I cared about it a lot. I was constantly playing with it. I kind of got freaky with it, where I was like, okay, everything's going to be like a weird color, and like BD1 is going to be a complete, and that's the other thing. BD1 has these, modifications. It's not just color changes for him either. But I was constantly changing stuff, and sometimes my blaster, lightsaber, and BD1 would all color match. Sometimes I made them all like really different. I was totally about the customization in this game. And
it's come a long way since Ponchos, like you said, for sure.
It's come so far since Ponchos. One of my favorites that you actually get very early in the game for BD1 is this assembly.
Ooh, look at that.
So it kind of removes all of... It's kind of C-3PO in Phantom Menace.
Yeah.
Where he's just like the internal components.
Right. I like that. That's cool.
So this is one of the first like alternate BD1 things that you can pick up. And then the blaster, it has 3 different... It has a barrel, it has the trigger, and then it has the grip. So these are the 3 customizations that you can swap out. So we can actually build...
also looks really cool.
The DL-44, which is a pre-order bonus, is Han Solo's blaster. Right. So, and then of course...
Oh, look at that. Look at there. That's perfect. Yeah.
You can make that... You can make it color accurate, but you can also obviously make it any color you want.
This one's interesting.
Okay. Yeah, I'm into this. All right,
Are you going to be doing a lot of customization?
I'm realizing, yes, I'm totally going to be doing way more than I would in most games. And this look that this schmuck is running is beautiful. I love it.
He is a schmuck right now.
He solves his problems with dance. Yes, it's a beautiful thing.
Star Wars Footloose.
How's BD1? BD1 still cool? Still good boy?
Yeah. Just as adorable. You're constantly worried something terrible is going to happen to him. You know, he is great. Yeah, still a fantastic droid. So this is the cantina a little bit more kind of filled up. This isn't the most filled I've actually seen. Oh, I have the music removed because of copyright.
Copyright, yes. They mentioned that in the embargo, yeah.
There's some bumping tunes, that's for sure. This game actually has a...
this looks so good.
This is Cage. She's a bounty hunter.
Why is the brood looking for you on Coruscant?
And she's Australian.
Hey.
But it has a system like in like Assassin's Creed, where you have like different targets in the later Assassin's Creed games and the more recent ones. So she will give you information on how to find these bounty hunters, but you can also just kind of randomly come across them in the world, and there's like a checklist of them that you can... yeah, so she just told me where I might find like another bounty hunter. So that's another system.
How much of this side stuff are you engaging with?
A ton. I was doing it constantly through my playthrough, and now that I've beaten the story, I'm honestly planning on kind of going like...
Tom...
I think I'm going to keep playing this until...
Tom, I give you permission. Please take us back to the Frogman. I don't care. I don't care if it's spoilers.
Yes.
Let's do it. I need them.
Turgle appears pretty early in the game, so it's not... There's a boy Grease. I won't talk to him because he might be like, oh, remember that thing we did at the end? And...
Right.
Anakin Skywalker showed up, you know? Mm-hmm. That was a joke for anyone that... where is Turgle? Oh, he's over
right
here.
Over there.
Sometimes he hangs out.
There he is.
Hangs out here. There he is. We can talk to him.
Oh, look at this guy. Oh, my God. What a game. It's Slippy Toad, everybody.
And I do feel that, like... I mean, he's this kind of a standout, but the characters in the cantina were kind of well-rounded and interesting enough that I would always kind of come back. Between every mission, I came back to the cantina and talked with everyone.
Yeah,
not just because they gave me rumors,
enticing.
But yeah.
Yeah, there's something really well done about it. Where I'm like, I want to be in this space. I want to hang out here. This is really well done.
However we can.
I think it comes back to it is deeply detailed, and those 4K textures that they're packing into that 150 gigabytes paying off.
Exactly. So real quick before we leave the cantina, I want to show you. So this is the fish tank, which when you first get to the cantina is really gross, but it eventually gets filled with fish if you start, you know, walking around the open world and finding that little fish guy we talked to earlier. You could change the angle of the look. Sometimes he's even swimming amongst them, which is really fun.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so that it's just a neat little feature to make this feel a really lived-in space.
Yeah.
I want to show you this real quick. This is Holotactics. This is Holotactics.
Oh, hell yeah, let's go. Does it have tiles?
So, yeah, it's a really dumbed-down version of a Gwent, but there aren't really rules. It is more like taking action figures and smashing them together of, like,
cool.
what if 3 battle droids took on 3 stormtroopers? How would that battle play out? Like, that's what this is. It's worth
totally
playing.
Accurate battle simulator, basically. Just
it legitimately, it is total accurate battle simulator with Star Wars like henchmen.
Oh, incredible!
It's very basic, but I think it's what it needs to be, because something like if they had like a full like Gwent like game, I actually would never play it because it's its own game within the game.
Yes, totally.
This is really just like a fun little distraction, and it gives you some neat rewards depending on who you're fighting.
Yeah, it sounds like a toy. It sounds like they made a little toy here for you to play with.
So I'm gonna fight Marin, And so it comes in waves. We're starting out with these two like orb things, and then there's like this really powerful battle droid. One of the tactics that I've done is using storm, and you have points. So at the bottom here, I have 25 points to spend. I'm going to use some of these Stormtrooper commanders because they have grenades that they lob. I'm going to do 3 of those guys, and then I'm actually going to go over to the droid option, the Bedlam Raider option, where the droids are now like a part of this faction. And I'm going to pull these roller mines.
Okay,
put them
I'm
up
into
front.
it.
And I'm going to leave it at that and see what happens, because points carry over to the next round. So if this goes over successfully, I'll have an additional 6 points. And all you do is you hit start fight, and it plays out.
And then it just simulates. All right.
Oh, okay. So they shot my grenade or my roller mines, killing my units, and I imagine this guy's going to take out my commander pretty quickly.
Yeah, it looks like, yep, there it
Okay.
goes.
But what's interesting is that strategy was maybe flawed, but it doesn't mean it won't always work. It just happened that they destroyed those roller mines.
So it's not it's not deterministic. Like there's like some dice rolls happening at the very least.
Yeah, I have totally I'm certain this is gonna work, and I've just spammed the same thing. And like, if those roller mines had been able to make their way over to them and blown up, like it would have been a completely different. Like,
right.
Let's just recreate it and see what happens.
Yeah, sure. I'm down. Let's make it happen.
So what was it? 3 Stormtrooper commanders and these 2.
Yeah, look at that. That looked
oh yeah,
way
so
different.
another one survived. Oh, are we gonna be able? No, this guy has too much health.
Closer though, for sure. Yep.
Let's do one more and see. It's spam a bunch of melee.
Yeah. Okay. I like it.
Just have them be surround Marin's characters.
Who's Marin's actor that does her character? I feel like it's.
I have zero idea.
It's on the tip of my tongue. I'm like recognizing the voice. I'm gonna look it up.
Oh, let's send out this big brute up front. I like this, and then we will have some. Let's just like have a bunch of grunts around him. Oh, we only have that many points. Okay. Oh, whoops.
Nope, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what who her actor is, but she is great, and I think that she is even better in this game. Yeah, I'm very excited for people to see kind of like what happens with her character.
Yeah, she was definitely a standout for me in the first one. I loved when she joined the crew. I think that's when it really started to get very. It started to feel like a family, which is like. One of my favorite things in the game is like when a crew comes together and it's like, now we're a family, and that's when it really solidified.
All right, let's see how this works out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, this is going, I think, a little bit more in my favor.
Yeah, he's taking a lot more damage than he even did in the last couple of rounds.
Yeah, I've got this big brute guy.
There it is. Yeah, that put him down. Okay, man, that's fun.
Yeah, so, but I spent all of my points, so I have nothing kind of carrying over here. So yeah, that is, we'll exit out of that, but that's Holotactics. It's really fun, and the cool thing is it's tied into the gameplay, because not only are you getting rewards, but scanning enemies with BD1 will make them available to play in the game. So as you come across new enemies in the world, they will... they will become available. If you scan them with BD1, they will then become like downloaded and added to the roster of characters you can use in Holotactics.
Okay. That's also very that does make it feel very much like totally accurate battle simulator. We're like, all right, now we're gonna unlock these other characters. Now you can see what they do.
It's one of the this real quick is a High Republic kind of Jedi test. So the story of the game is very tied into the High Republic era of Star Wars, which has really only been explored in kind of comics and books up until this point. And Kobo has like a history with the High Republic era of Jedi.
That is fantastic. Okay, I've read a couple of the High Republic books and really enjoyed at least one of them I really enjoyed. and I've been fine with the rest. That is exciting. I know that they are keen to like get High Republic stuff into video games and onto TV. So it's like, oh, the fact that they got it into this game in some way is really interesting.
Yeah, and I think it's done really well because, you know, this is set post prequel era.
Right.
So you're like, how can the High Republic, which occurs like 200 years before...
Yeah, like 700 to 200, yeah.
How can it tie in? And I think they very smartly like find ways to tie it in. So you'll find these kind of cubes all over Kobo and hidden areas that you can kind of explore. So, yeah, so this is it. Survivor, man, and there's so much to see and do here on Kobo. Yeah, so I think that this game is really going to speak to what you liked about Fallen Order quite a bit. So if we're here at the holo table, we can bring up. So this is you can return to Coruscant, which you start at in the beginning.
How much more is there to like see there? Have you gone back to Coruscant?
I have not gone back to Coruscant.
Okay, and you're already at like 86%.
I'm already at
so
like 86%.
There's probably not much left to do. Okay.
There's a couple of things in the later areas of Coruscant in the beginning where I was like, oh, how do I get there?
That's right.
Yeah, so that there is a little bit, but I don't think that there's much. I think it is one of the smaller worlds. We have Kobo here. A little tip for people who, if they're watching this before they're playing, you know, in the first game, you could go to Dathomir early, and you could get the double-sided lightsaber early in the game if you wanted. Same thing kind of with the crossguard in this game, where eventually there'll kind of be you'll have two objectives you need to complete, and you can complete them in whatever order you want. You'll be asked to either return to Kobo, or you can go to its shattered moon, which is another explorable area. The crossguard lightsaber is on the shattered moon. So if you want the crossguard as fast as possible, do the shattered moon mission before you come back to Kobo. So as you can see, it's actually a kind of... There aren't a ton of places, and I think they just really wanted to kind of focus on Dathomir. Sorry, not Dathomir. They really wanted to focus on Kobo and make it this big world that had something we don't really see in Star Wars, which is multiple biomes within it and exploring. So you do play a lot of the game on Kobo. So it's not getting crazy with introducing a bunch of planets, but the stuff that it does introduce beyond Kobo, I think, is neat, different, and interesting to kind of the story.
I am so jazzed to get back to this. I am so excited. I've been been playing a lot of games, but I've had my this is coming soon, and now it's here. It's like, okay, I think everything else gets put to the side. I was really enjoying Advance Wars. Got about halfway through Advance Wars 1.
I need to jump into it.
Yeah, it's really good, but I'm like, oh no, I want to play this because Redfall's going to be here before we know it, and then Zelda's going to be here. So it is Jedi Survivor time. Tom, thank you so much for showing me around, man.
Yeah, real quick before we go, one of the funny bugs I had, again, this was before the patch. I don't know if it was after, like if the patch would have fixed it, but you know, all of the cutscenes and stuff happen in engine. So our friend Grease over here is usually in the kitchen when we're just chilling in the Mantis, but there was a moment where we were having a cutscene where I was having like a heated debate with Grease like in the cockpit. And it's cutting back and forth between like Grease and Cal, and Grease is kind of standing with the rest of the Mantis to his back, and they hadn't like taken the Grease that's in the kitchen out of the cutscene. So you just saw like Grease in front, like yelling at Cal, and then like in the distance you saw the back of his head in the kitchen. So
very good.
There's fun little things like that are, you know, obviously bugs, but like just like, oh, video games.
Yes, video games. Those are my favorite kind of bugs, and honestly, zero problem with them personally. If it's like, oh, video games, you're just being so silly. I like that. Awesome. This is great. I'm like I said, I'm gonna get into this right away. Thank you so much, Tom.
Yes, thank you very much for having me.
Bye, everybody.